Welcome to Daily Devotion with Ken Gurley. Devotions designed to inspire you on your daily walk with God. Here's your host, Ken Gurley.
Hey, good Monday morning to each of you, all of you. A crazy week last week. A good week, but a crazy week. You know what I'm talking about? I was everywhere in every time zone, and yeah, causes a problem. But I hope you had a great Father's Day yesterday. We had a great Father's Day, and remember my dad. I had a great dad, and thankful for all of the father figures in my life as well, the mentors, and for each of you that provide that masculine role in someone's life. Thank you. Thank you for that. I guess my mind was just still on Father's Day, and I just couldn't get away from this thought today. I'm talking about a home. How vital, yesterday I spoke about how vital a father is in the home. But today I just want to talk about the home. We saw it just after the pandemic. I don't know if you remember. People fell in love with their homes again. Started massive, where we live, the subdivision we live, massive remodeling programs all around us. Because people were just falling in love, getting back in touch with how valuable not just the house is, but the home and the relationship. Now, in a spiritual sense, only one can transform the home, and that is the Lord. Jeremiah took a trip to the potter's house, and he saw a vessel that was marred, but still in the master's hands. And he watched as the master made it over as it pleased him. What the master does is overwhelming. You can add a coat of paint. You can change the shingles. You can add some landscaping. But what the Lord does to a home is nothing short of extraordinary. It's like you remember like the Gadarene demoniac when he was clothed and in his right mind and he went home. He wanted to follow Jesus, but Jesus said, you go home. You're a greater witness to me in your home than following after me. Go home. I love what it says, Mark 5:19. Go home to your family and tell them how much the Lord has done for you. That's what it's all about. Bring mercy back into your home. Let the change come into your home. I hope we've got some new folks on here. Right out of the People Factory. You're just here. You're brand new. Somebody shared this with you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. There are people that share this live as soon as we go live, and thank you for that. We pick up people that just find in this a group of encouragers, and that's what we are. We ought to rename it. Time for a rename of Daily Devotion. This is the Barnabas Club. This is the Encouragers Club. Where never is heard a discouraging word, and the deers and the antelope play. Maybe not. All right, welcome to Daily Devotion. It was on Sunday night. I can't remember how many years ago. We did a renewal of vows with everybody that was willing, just to see how when we recommit and we recovenant, how it renews a home. Now I've come to the conclusion that there are about 7 vital steps. I could think of more, I could think of fewer, but let me give you 7 vital steps that would transform absolutely a home. Paul, in that most intimate letter of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 said, so from now on, we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer. Because if anyone is in Christ, he's a new creature. The old is gone, the new has come. God changes lives. Your home is so important to God. It was God that designed the home. Said, man, it's not good for man to dwell alone. Your marriage is important to God. Your parenting is important to God. Your children, your parents, your grandchildren, your extended family. It's important. God values the home. He values the relationships. You remember that promise on the day of Pentecost? It's to you, your children, those that are far off. He wants the rapture to be a family affair. He wants all of you involved in it. God designed your home to be a safe place from the world. It's an environment where nurturing takes place, where children grow, where love shelters, where words are kind. Yes, discipline is administered, respect is taught, but encouragement is dished out in large doses. Gary Collins in Family Shock said if most people had it to do all over again, they would marry the same spouse they have now. Now, this is an easy one, guys. This is a softball right across the center of the plate. You should really say that's the way I feel and hit a thumbs up on that. I mean, folks, this is a no-brainer. Come on. You're supposed to say, yes, I would marry. 97% of married women did not experience a violent domestic event last year. 97%. All parents make mistakes. Most kids survive well when their parents are at home. Counseling does help marriage and families. Even good parents sometimes have rebellious kids. Even bad parents sometimes have good kids. Here's one more thing that Gary Collins said: when things seem hopeless in the home, they're not. Every home goes through a sequence of steps, of stages. Although it varies for individuals, a family can go through these stages. Stage 1 begins with the I do's. Self dies, a fused life of two people is born. And what follows is a time of learning to live as one. Jesus promised to be there. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Stage 2, life changes dramatically. The couple has made a decision to always have their hearts living outside of their body, meaning a child is born. Jesus promised where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name. A third person joins the mix. He was there when there were 2. Now he's there when there is 3. Stage 3, the child or children grow. They start school. The family is apart from each other more. Life becomes a hectic race of rushing from school to practice to this to that, from one event to another. That's a serious stage because families can drift apart. But if you have a family altar, if you have a family time, you can keep together. Stage 4, the children are teens swiftly becoming adults. There's turmoil, there's hormones, there's expenses, there's more activities, there's more separation, more choices, more peer pressure. This home is so important at this stage. How important is time spent around the breakfast table? How important staying faithful to the house of God at this stage? Stage 5, the empty nest. Bedrooms once filled with stuff, they grow empty. What began with the couple by faith now returns to the couple. Children are no longer the focus of the family unit. Now mom and dad look to once again each other for companionship. What a time for a couple to devote themselves to the Lord as never before in his service at the empty nest syndrome. Some of the greatest ministries I know are born from such people and carried by such people. Stage 6, grandchildren, extended family. 9, folks, 9. That's how many we have now. 9 of them. 9 of them. Stage 7, what began as 2 individuals saying I do now returns to a single person who feels that a vital, integral part is missing, that one has passed, leaving the other behind to follow along. This is the expected, anticipated cycle of marriage. For some, it doesn't work out that way. But God's always there, and he redeems and transforms every phase of our life, whether it reaches our degree of expectation or not. But in these 7 stages, a home is built. And that home is so important to God. That home has lasting effects. Theodore Roosevelt once said, no other success in life, not being president or being wealthy, going to college, writing a book, or anything else, comes up to the success of the man or woman who can feel they've done their duty and their children and grandchildren rise up and call them blessed. I believe that. Chuck Swindoll once said, whatever else may be said about the home, it's the bottom line of life, the anvil upon which attitudes and convictions are hammered out. It's the place where life's bills come due, the single most influential force in our earthly existence, the home. I go through the stages of the home. I want you to see the value of the home. I want you to see its worth. I want you to recognize it. Don't look at your home from a worldly perspective. Paul said we don't look at things from a worldly perspective anymore. We don't look at just the fair market value or the appraised value of the home or the square footage of the home. How many bedrooms does it have? How many floors does it have? No. The value of the home is not found in square footage. You want to see the value of the home, there's 7 vital steps. Don't look at it from a worldly point of view. Young couple once rented a vacation home for a week, and one afternoon the husband looked out the window, saw the swimming pool, and said, let's change our clothes and go get some exercise. His wife, meanwhile, was cleaning the kitchen. When her husband spoke, she looked out the window, saw some people playing tennis. She quickly agreed. While she dressed for a tennis match, he put on his swimming trunks. The window through which a person looks out at the world determines your perception of reality. What does a godly home look like? I want to take you through a transformed home. 7 vital steps. The first step, you got to get the foundation right. It's got to be built on the foundation of God. The Sermon on the Mount, chapters 5, 6, 7, at the close, Jesus said, if you heard what I said, if you do what I say, you're like the wise man who built his house on the rock. I know some people are raised in highly dysfunctional, toxic homes. You don't know what a godly home is supposed to look like, except the Lord build the house. He's the master architect. He's the firm foundation. An effective marriage is built on him. A home of great influence is built according to his plan. I think of the advice Paul gave to couples in Ephesians chapters 5 and 6. Who can improve on these words? Submit yourselves one to another. Wives, submit yours and support your husband. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Children, obey your parents. Dads, don't be so hard on your kids that they get exasperated. That's building on a firm foundation. It's a vital step. Some think they've got a better idea, that they're following this clinician, this theoretician, and they're following this philosophy. But God created the family. Why shouldn't we follow his plan for a family? Dr. George Crane, clinical columnist in newspapers, calculated that when a married couple is active together in the same church, they have about a 50 times greater chance of avoiding divorce. Only 1 in 500 marriages break up where there is a family altar. Build right. Build on a firm. Here's the second step. Commit and submit to one another. One of the greatest and highest steps is found there. Commit, then submit. The latter follows the former. You can't submit until you're committed. Until you're firmly resolved in your mind that the person I married is the one and only one, there will be no submission. There will be no contentment. I don't consider myself a counselor. In fact, I'm probably a terrible counselor. There's people trained to do that. They're qualified to do that. But can I just share an observation? That when a person is not sure that his or her companion is the right one, then there's much confusion. I've heard people say things like, we made a mistake and got married. I guess the question then is the person you're married to a mistake? Was your I do and I have to? In that previous passage I cited, husbands are commanded to love their wives as Christ loved the church. He picked a bride and he committed himself to her. And from that commitment came a submission to the death of the cross. Submission only follows commitment. Here's the third step. Be loyal and faithful to the family and to one another. I think disloyalty and unfaithfulness, they're the cracks in the foundation, the leaks in the roof. They're the gaps in the siding of the home that every wind can blow through the house. Godly home's not like that. A godly home is built on love, and love will protect its treasures. Love guards its vows. Love never gives up. Love always triumphs. Fourth step, respect each person in the family. Husbands, your best friend's not on your job. He's not hanging out at the golf course or deer leash. Your best friend's your wife. If you love her, show it. Spend time with her. Respect her. Speak well of her. Wives, your husband is the one who loves you and seeks to provide for you. The last thing a godly home needs is a woman that runs her husband down to her friends. I just think it's abominable. You know, the Bible says there's some abominations and then even abominations unto God. I think it's abominable to hear men and women run each other down. Their partner for life, flesh of their flesh, bone of their bone. Do you know what studies show? For every criticism we hear about a person, it takes 13 positive remarks about the same person to counteract the one criticism we heard. There should be many times more encouraging words in a home rather than discouraging. Because communication breakdowns happen when respect is gone. And guess what? The respect that a couple shows to each other is mirrored by their children. So mom and dad, you're a united team before your kids. Don't you wish somebody would have taught you this when you said I do? Here's the fifth vital step. Choose to be a godly parent. If you want to see God's goodness in your home, if you want to see your home transformed, learn to treat your children the way God treats you. Godly parents put God first in their lives. Godly parents refuse to be satisfied with being mediocre. Godly parents accept responsibility for the way they're raising their kids. Godly parents recognize that joy comes through sacrifice. Godly parents know the power of a godly example, and they know the value of investing time in their family. This is so good. This is so good. Choose to be a godly parent. Be a Joshua. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. The sixth step, teach kids about the Lord, about his ways. Teach them. It's just after the Shema, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. There in Deuteronomy 6:4. Moses told the parents of Israel, impress God's commandments in the hearts and minds of your children. It's parenting on purpose and not by accident. It's not living a harem-scarum life. It's being intentional about your faith. Teach your kids to pray. Tell them the stories of Jesus. Share the gospel message. Teach them to pray for their enemies. Teach them to have a burden for others. And the seventh step in a transformed house, and I can't emphasize this one enough. Just as I can't emphasize the first one, begin with God, I really can't overemphasize the seventh step. If you want to have a transformed house, forgive and be forgiven. People make mistakes. Forgive them. Why? The Lord commands us to. Why would He do that? Because unforgiveness prevents you from being all you can be. It contaminates your relationship with God and others. You can't bring your gift to the altar because you have aught in your heart against somebody. The Bible calls unforgiveness, Hebrews 12:15, the root of bitterness. Bitterness is a cancer of the heart. When you forgive, you're most like God. Forgiveness prevents hate from forming. Forgiveness keeps loved ones talking around that breakfast table. Forgiveness keeps them getting together at the holidays. Model it, show it, live it. 7 vital steps. More and more people seem to forget Henry Ford's sage advice when asked on his 50th wedding anniversary for his rule for marital bliss and longevity. He replied, "It's the same as in the automobile business. Just stick to one model." You found that one. Change yourself and you change relationships. Step 1, build on God's foundation. Step 2, commit, submit to one another. Step 3, be loyal and faithful to the family and to each other. Step 4, respect each person in the family. 5th step, be a godly parent. 6th step, teach children about the Lord and His ways. And the 7th step, forgive and be forgiven. And you will experience a transformed home. Whew, that's very heavy for a Monday. I just felt it. Felt it on the heels of Father's Day. You know what we're doing. Hey, by the way, thank you for those of you that are helping us with our revitalizations. We're getting started with a whole new group of revitalizations, helping churches experience growth, new life, touching their community. Thank you for that. You can give to that over at kengurley.com. Check out our resources there. Like, follow on Facebook, subscribe on X and YouTube. Go. Have an amazing day. Share this with the whole wide world. And may the Lord bless you immensely today. God bless.
Thank you for sharing in Daily Devotion with Ken Gurley. We pray this ministry has been a source of encouragement and strength to you. Please be mindful that your financial support enables us to meet with you each day. To give a donation or connect with us, visit our website at kengurley.com. There you will also find the latest books, podcasts, and resources. Blessed 90 Days to Change Your World is Pastor Gurley's latest book. You can get your copy of this life-changing book at kengurley.com. May God's favor rest away until we meet again.